Have you ever wondered what it would mean for Africa if its own people controlled the narrative, free from the biased perspectives that have dominated global media for so long? In a groundbreaking move that has left many in the West stunned, the revolutionary leaders of Burkina Faso, Mali, and Niger have taken a bold step toward media sovereignty. These nations, united under the newly formed Alliance of Sahel States, AES, have launched their very own web TV station. This initiative is not just a new channel, it's a statement, a declaration that Africa will no longer be a passive recipient of the world's narratives, but will instead tell its own story, in its own words and on its own terms. Build a better future for Africa.
Yeah, family, y'all know what time it is, man. It's another video back from your brother, Daliyahu Yashara, and we finna get this news update with what's happening in Burkina Faso, but I felt like it was only right and necessary to bring this story to the family because with the last issue we had, it was some attacks going on with some insurgencies. You know, they said it was reportedly Al Qaeda. We know it may have been some attempts by the country, the developed nations that was kicked out to try to cause some uprising in the country. And this is exactly what a lot of people talked about. This is the reason why we need our own news media in Africa. And that's exactly what Burkina Faso is doing. That's exactly what Niger, Mali doing, all the countries over there are doing. So it's important to bring this story, I felt like, to the family as well, because what's happening is they doing all the right things. They trying to take control of the military. So let's get this update, and then we're going to listen to what they're saying. I'm going to come back at the end, and we're going to talk about why this is important for the Sahel region. And we already can see why.
The significance of this move cannot be overstated. For decades, Africa has been portrayed through a lens crafted by external powers, often with little regard for the continent's diversity, richness, and the resilience of its people. Western media, seen as gatekeepers of information, have long dictated what the world hears and doesn't hear about Africa. The narratives often focus on poverty, disease, conflict, and corruption, overshadowing the progress, culture, and the many successes of the continent. This portrayal has had profound effects, shaping global perceptions and influencing international policies toward Africa. But the tides are changing. On September 16th, marking the first anniversary of the Alliance of Sahel States, Burkina Faso, Mali, and Niger launched their own digital platform, an online TV station meticulously designed and certified by experts. This platform represents a significant leap in the region's media landscape. It is more than just a new source of news. It is a tool for the people of Burkina Faso, Mali, and Niger to access uncensored, authentic information. For the first time, they will have a direct line to news that reflects their reality, their challenges, and their aspirations without the filter of foreign interests. This move toward media sovereignty comes on the heels of Burkina Faso's decision to suspend the operations of several major Western media outlets, including the BBC and Voice of America, VOA. The reason? Concerns over misinformation. The leaders of the AES have expressed their frustration with what they perceive as biased and often misleading narratives propagated by these foreign media giants. By launching their own platform, the AES can now ensure that the voices and stories of the Sahel are told from the perspective of those who are living and shaping the region's future. The launch of this new TV station is not just about controlling the narrative. It is also about fostering a greater understanding of the importance of regional cooperation. Through this platform, the AES aims to provide transparent and in-depth coverage of regional challenges, aspirations, and progress. It will highlight the significance of the alliance and the collaborative efforts of these nations to build a better future for their people. This initiative symbolizes the AES's commitment to self-reliance, representing a significant shift in how information will be controlled and disseminated in the region. For too long, the narratives around Africa have been shaped by external forces with little understanding or appreciation of the continent's complexities. Western media, in particular, have been criticized for their coverage, which often perpetuates outdated stereotypes. These media outlets have been accused of manipulating information to fit certain agendas, painting a picture of Africa that is far removed from reality. This portrayal has contributed to a global perception of Africa as a continent mired in problems, rather than a continent rich in potential and opportunity. But now, with the launch of this new TV station, the AES is asserting its right to narrate its own story. This is a powerful statement that challenges the dominant Western media narratives that have long shaped global perceptions of Africa. The AES leaders understand that controlling the narrative is essential for their nation's sovereignty and development. By telling their own stories, they can present a more accurate, nuanced, and positive image of their countries and the region as a whole. This initiative is also a response to the broader issues identified in the media landscape across Africa. A recent report by Africa No Filter revealed that 1/3 of African news stories in local media outlets are sourced from foreign news services. This reliance on external sources perpetuates negative stereotypes, portraying Africa as a continent riddled with poverty, disease, conflict, and corruption under poor leadership. The report, titled "How African Media Covers Africa," surveyed 38 African editors, examined content from 60 African news outlets across 15 countries, and held focused discussions with media professionals. The findings highlighted industry-wide challenges such as declining advertising revenue, shrinking newsrooms, and the resultant impact on the type of news coverage available to African audiences, which tends to be overwhelmingly negative and conflict-oriented. The establishment of this independent media outlet by Burkina Faso, Mali, and Niger is a significant step toward addressing these challenges. It is an effort to reclaim the narrative and provide a more balanced, accurate, and positive portrayal of the region. This new TV station will offer an alternative to the often negative and misleading coverage provided by foreign media. It will focus on the region's strengths, achievements, and the progress being made, rather than just its problems. At this point, I'd like to remind you to like, comment, and subscribe to our channel to stay updated on the latest developments. Your support helps us bring more content like this, shining a light on the stories that matter most to Africa and its people. The move by the AES is also a significant development in the broader context of Africa's struggle for self-determination. For centuries, Africa has been subject to external control and influence, from colonization to the post-colonial era, where foreign powers continued to exert their influence through various means, including media. The launch of this new TV station is a bold statement that Africa is ready to take control of its destiny. It is a move that reflects a growing trend across the continent, where more and more African nations are asserting their independence and taking steps to reduce their reliance on foreign powers. This trend is evident in various sectors, from economics to politics, and now, media. The leaders of Burkina Faso, Mali, and Niger have shown that they are willing to challenge the status quo and take bold steps to ensure their nation's sovereignty. This is not just about rejecting foreign media. It is about creating a new narrative, one that is driven by Africans, for Africans. It is about telling the world that Africa is powerful, resilient, and capable of shaping its own future. The impact of this initiative will be far-reaching. By providing a platform for authentic African voices, the AES is helping to reshape global perceptions of Africa. This new TV station will offer the world a different perspective on the Sahel region, one that highlights its strengths, its people's resilience, and its leaders' vision for the future. It will help to counter the negative stereotypes that have long dominated the global media landscape and present a more balanced, accurate, and positive image of Africa. In conclusion, the launch of this new TV station by Burkina Faso, Mali, and Niger is a historic moment in Africa's media landscape. It represents a significant step toward media sovereignty and the reclaiming of Africa's narrative. By telling their own stories, these nations are challenging the dominant Western media narratives that have long shaped global perceptions of Africa. This initiative is a powerful statement of self-reliance, resilience, and the desire for a brighter future for the Sahel region and the continent as a whole. As we continue to witness these groundbreaking developments, it is crucial that we support and amplify the voices that are working to bring about positive change in Africa. So, Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to our channel for more insightful content.
Real talk, man. I feel like they saying a mouthful right there. You know, one thing about it, this is a one thing about it. Like no matter where you reside at, where you live at right now, on the continent, not on the continent, it is a historic move right now for the landscape of the media in Africa, and we seeing it. I'm playing a part in this myself, and again, not being born on the continent, coming back to the continent, and seeing in my desire to share some news and some of the news stories that's happening on the continent to provide a true narrative, you know, correct some of the false narratives out there. We seeing that it's already a divide. You know, we saw even in the last story just the other day, we posted some news about the war continuing over there, and a lot of people was just talking about how that was fake news, you know, and the story is probably not true. And we know that, again, the other countries, France and the other European countries that got kicked out, always behind these terrorist attacks. Even America, you know, has their own history with doing, what do you say, false flags, however you want to put it, or just funding, you know, these kind of boogeyman kind of characters to make you have threats to security, you know. So this is a tactic that the West plays well in every country. But with what's happening in Burkina Faso, some people understand that. Some people feel like it's fake news, and I understand that perspective as well. And that's why I definitely want to talk about this story, because this is historical as far as the media landscape in Africa, because each country should assert themselves. That's one of the freedom of being an independent country. A lot of these times, like the story was saying, in the report done, have more than all the pretty much news coverages that's covering Africa is from international or foreign people outside of Africa news stations. You know what I'm saying? You're talking about the BBC, you know, all his first posts. We was talking about that in the comments, the last video, that first post in Al Jazeera was lying. And it may be lies, we don't know, but that is a part of the duty of the government of Burkina Faso to take back the communications for the country, right? So we're looking forward to this. I think it's a very positive development for Burkina Faso, because I would much rather report on news that we getting directly from the source. And I know me, again, in my own, like my little small newsroom here, having to verify certain things and do some little fact checking, it'd be a lot easier to do if we know we're getting it straight from at least a government source in that country. And so every country in Africa, it's 54 countries. Every country should have a media division. So this is something I think we all watching come to pass right now. So that's why I appreciate all the new subscribers, everybody that, again, tuned in to that story, commenting on it, because that's our goal. We own the continent. We in East Africa, Tanzania, helping brothers and sisters, you know, repatriate to the country, you know, offering expatriate consultations, strategic relocation consultation, because again, it's 54 countries. It's important to pick the right one for you and stuff like that. But the point is, the landscape is growing, and it's a lot of connectivity and interconnectivity that's happening between the 54 states or 54 nations. And then again, what's happening with the external nations that's being removed. So it's a lot of things to cover, you know. So we want to stay on top of the news and continue bringing you guys the latest. So we appreciate the support. Ask that you guys like, subscribe, comment, and let's keep the conversation going. But this is great news for Burkina Faso, Mali, Niger, and we look forward to our nations taking back their communications freedom, right? That they fought for, to tell a story and to tell a narrative, so that it'll be easier to communicate not only with their people, but with the other nations. So we look forward to this happening. We just, like you said in the video, continue to support the up and coming media platforms in Africa. And as we continue to support the diaspora, you know, and that's how we work together, and we will see Africa rise. So again, I'm your host, Daliyahu Yasharal. This is Babal. Flee Babylon, flee confusion, and come to Africa, family. We're gonna be here until the next time. I want to see you guys in the next video. Shalom.